In this video, I will explain about Adobe XD interface and the tools function. When you open up Adobe XD, it brings you to home screen. This is the interface of Adobe XD host. At the top corner in the middle here is a range of devices that you can choose for your project. Consists of mobile and tablet, web, Instagram story, and custom size. If you click at the downward facing arrow on the right corner here, you will be able to see more options for each devices. For an example, there are a lot of options for iPhone, including iPhone 14 Pro Max, iPhone 14 Pro, until iPhone XS 11 Pro. And if you are planning to have an interface for Google Pixel or iPad, these are the options for the file size. If you are creating an user interface for a website, you can choose from here. Or if you're planning to create a content for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you can choose accordingly from this category. Or if you are creating a user interface for your client who would like to have a dedicated file size, you can choose for custom size and fill up the file size for width and height here. So for an example, I would like to have interface consisting of width 600 pixel and the height is 300. You can just type it out in the column here. So if for my first project, I would like to have a user interface with iPhone 14 Pro Max size, I can just click at it and it will automatically brings me into the other interface that looks like this. And on the top corner here, you will notice that the name is iPhone 14 Pro Max -1. This is the file size that I have selected earlier. Let's start designing user interface using Adobe XD. This is a file size that I have chosen earlier. In Adobe XD, you will notice there are 3 modes that you can choose to work for your apps typing. Currently, I am in the first mode, which is design, and the second mode known as prototype, and the last and the third, which is the sharing mode. On the left corner here, you will notice there are a few tools that you can choose to work for your user interface. This is the selection tool, shortcut is V. This is a rectangle tool, shortcut is R. This is ellipse tool, shortcut is E. This is a polygon tool, shortcut is Y. This is a line tool, shortcut is L. Followed by pen tool, shortcut is P. And this is a text tool, shortcut for T. Followed by artboard tool, shortcut is A. And zoom tool, shortcut is C. Let's practice using tools that you have learned in designing user interface. Currently, I only have one artboard here, which is previously I have chosen the size for iPhone 14 Pro Max. And there's a -1 here. It means this is the first artboard. If I am planning to create more than one artboard, you can make a selection, just click at the board, and you will notice there's a blue stroke outline around the shape. And it means that you can track to whichever side that you would like to. So in this case, I would like to make a copy from this file size. So I'll just hit the Alt button on my keyboard and I just drag to put it beside the previous artboard. And you will notice that the previous board name is iPhone 14 Pro Max -1, which means this is the first artboard. And now I have the second artboard, which is iPhone 14 Pro Max -2, which means this is the second artboard. To zoom in and zoom out your user interface, you can just use this zoom tool or Z automatically it will zoom in. To zoom out, you can just hit Alt on your computer and it will zoom out correctly. Or you can also hit Alt and move your middle mouse. Scroll up to zoom and scroll down to zoom out. Or you can also hit on the keyboard Ctrl plus to zoom in and Ctrl minus to zoom out. There's plenty of options for zooming in and zooming out in user interfaces. And if you are planning to have more than 2 interfaces, you can make more than one selection by clicking at the first artboard, hold Shift to select the second artboard, and click Alternate on your keyboard to make the faster selection. And if you notice, when I paste beside artboard 2 for artboard 3 and 4, there's a color purple appear along the way, and it comes with a number, which is 59. So that's actually the character that shows you the spacing size that currently we have for these 4 interfaces. Let's say you are planning to have a lesser artboard for your user interface. You can just make a selection. Let's say I don't want to have artboard number 4 and also artboard number 3. So I can just make a selection for artboard number 4 and hit delete button. Same goes with artboard number 3. Select and you will notice there's an outline blue color and hit delete button on the keyboard. Let's try to practice the basic tools that you have learned previously. The first one is a selection tool. So for an example, we are creating a rectangle tool here. I have a rectangle outline and you will notice on your right corner here, there's a few options that we will go through one by one. In this video, we go for the basic, which is you will notice there's a fill color here where you can select and choose the color accordingly. And upon choosing the color, you will notice that the changes will happen in the box that we have created earlier. So let's say we settle for purple. And at the bottom here, there's a border, which is for the outline stroke color. You can make a selection, or if you would like to have no stroke for your border, you can just untick on the left corner here. It will automatically disappear. And if I zoom in, you will notice that around this rectangle, there's a small circle button inside of the rectangle, which it means that you can drag it to make your shape becomes rounded, or you can just turn it back into the normal size. So for selection tool, which is the shortcut key, you can make a selection and select and move the shape or any design that you have in your interfaces. This third one is the ellipse tool, which acts the same thing like the rectangle tool. You can fill up the color. Let's say the border you would like to have the similar color like the previous. You can choose the eyedropper tool here and just drop the color and it will automatically appear here. And you can just make a selection accordingly. But if let's say I would like to go for this green color, just leave it as you wish. And the fourth tool is a polygon where you will be able to create this shape. And you will also notice there's a small circle inside of the shape, which means that you can turn it into a circle as well. Or you can Ctrl+C to undo the previous action and find the color that you prefer the most. for your rectangle shape. Let's say untick the border because I don't want to have outline strip for all my shapes. So these are the basic shape that we will use it accordingly in this course. And there's a line tool as well here, where you can make, for an example, simple shape like that. And also you can draw a vector shape using the pen tool. You can draw whatever shape that you would like and fill up the border or perhaps the fill color. And the next one is the text tool, where you will be able to type whatever sentence that you would like to have in your interface. And you can make a selection. Shortcut is B here. And on the property panel on your right, under the text section, this is the name for your font, and you can make a selection according to your preferred typefaces. Like say I go for Quicksand, and perhaps I would like to make it a bold and increase the size into 40 points. So this is a final outcome of the typeface that I have chosen earlier. And this one referred to the artboard tool. If you click at it, there are more options for the mobile as well as the tablet that you can choose according to your next user interface that you are planning to create. So let's say for an example, I would like to, other than this iPhone 14 Pro Max interface, I would like also to designing the same interfaces but with a different file size. So I can just make a selection from here. For example, I go for Samsung Galaxy S10 and it will automatically appear once you click at the file size. And if I zoom in, you will notice the name is according to the previous Samsung Galaxy S10 that I have chosen earlier. If you decided to delete this, you can just hit your delete button on the keyboard. You can try to practice all these basic tools to make sure you are familiar with all these tools to ease your user interface design later. At the bottom left corner here, you will notice there are 3 more icons that you can utilize for your app's prototyping. The first one is a libraries, and if you click at it, you will see the color, character styles, components, and videos that will be stored in each folder accordingly. The second one is the layers. If you click at it, you will be able to monitor the layers that currently you use for your user interface design. And the last one is known as the plugins. If you downloaded plugins to complete your user interface design, it will appear here. So currently I have installed 4 different plugins, including icons for design, UI faces, wireframer, and undraw. In design mode, this is where you will be designing user interface for your mobile application. If you click at the prototype mode, you will notice that your output started to change into blue color, and there is an arrow on the right side where you can connect it with the other user interfaces. For the share mode, this is where you can share your app's prototype with developers to develop your application, other user, perhaps stakeholder or your client. On the top left corner here, this is a button to invite people to a document, and you can collaborate with other people to edit in real time. This is device preview button. The function is to connect your smartphone to your computer to be able to test your apps after typing. This is the desktop preview button, and followed by the zoom in and zoom out button. In the next video, you will learn how to design an outboard user interface.